This is an unsustainable and unjust moment, so it cannot continue this way. I also told his wife and family that I would try to meet with Mr. Abrego Garcia while I was here. So I asked the vice president if I could meet with Mr. Abrego Garcia. And he said, well, you need to make earlier provisions to go visit CCOT.
That was Maryland Democrat Senator Chris Van Hollen standing in El Salvador yesterday, demanding the release and return of the illegal immigrant and MS-13 gang member from El Salvador, who has become the patron saint of the Democrat Party, replacing one George Floyd. Now, to be clear, Senator Van Hollen is siding with an illegal alien. He has no regard for any of his constituents and their families who might have been affected, victimized by illegals in his state. To remind people of what the Moran family, in particular Maryland, has been through at the hands of an illegal, the Trump administration invited the mother of a deceased woman to the White House press room to urge the craven corporate press corps, especially Caitlin Collins of CNN, to do the right thing and just simply report the truth about her daughter's MS-13 murderer.
And I just want to say that as a mother and as an American citizen, the president and our entire team, and I hope people in this room are grateful for your willingness to come here and your request to share your daughter's story. And I think the country hears you loud and clear, so thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Patty or for me? No?
I have a question.
No? Anybody? Okay. We'll see you all later. The president will be at his dinner later this evening. Thank you.
Thank you for being here, Ms. Moran. I really appreciate it.
That doesn't affect you. You don't have a heart. All this is occurring as the New York Post reports that the Darian Gap, an area in Central America that millions of illegals used on their way to the U.S., has seen a stunning 99% decrease in illegal immigration since Trump took office. Is that for sure the case? Let's ask people who know. I'm joined now by independent war correspondent Michael Yan and independent journalist Masako Ganaha. I mean, you guys are almost permanently perched down there in the Darian Gap in the Panama Canal Zone. I just noted that the New York Post is reporting that movement through there is down significantly, like 99%. You are literally down there right now. Is that what you're seeing? A significant drop in immigrants coming across through there?
Yes, we interviewed yesterday here in this exact same room with the chief of the Senafront. That's the Panamanian Border Service. It's like a border patrol military.
Oh, yeah.
And
is it Senafort?
Senafront.
Senafront.
He mentioned 95% of this illegal crossing has dropped down. 95%.
But at this point, I would say 99. I think that because Masako has been to the Darian Gap quite a lot, and she's becoming like half Indian at this point. She loves it down there. But now Commander Ortega, or his former commander of Senafront, he said it was down 95%, but it is like 99. However, and this is very important, the architecture is still in place for the NGOs. HIAS is still in their offices. The Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society, Norwegian Refugee Councils, Doctors Without Morals, all those guys are all still there. IOM is still actively operating. IOM, Amy Pope, she's the chief of IOM. We follow her Twitter every day. She's off in Haiti right now, rounding up more people to send through. This is far from over. And I keep telling Team Trump, if you don't defund the United Nations and start really taking them down hard, everything else is just show. This is all just show, because we've seen the Darian Gap close before. It's closed before and then comes back with a vengeance each time. And if they don't take out the plumbing, which means the NGOs like United Nations and Doctors Without Morals and Red Cross and all those guys, it's just going to continue. Keep in mind, they're also going across the Canadian border through the Bahamas, student visas. Yeah. There's no mass deportations going on. It's just not happening. They keep saying we're getting ready to. Hey, or they don't have the resources for it, but they have the resources to go ahead and attack Iran. But they can't figure out how to get ships up the Mississippi River. I can help them out. There's a port in Memphis where they take tours. You drive ships up to Memphis and all these other places, and you rent those Carnival cruise lines and whatnot, and you load them up and you take them down to the countries where they came from, like Venezuela. If Venezuela refuses to take their people back, we send the Marines and we open the beach and we send them back. It's that simple, right? Man rules, and they're not doing it. It's just not happening.
Well, so what I'm hearing from you is that someone can come on and flip the lights back on. And that's a problem. If it's there, It can start back up like that. And I had this conversation with a former USAID official. I want to be careful about what I said, but sources from within the State Department tell me that is a major concern for the actual America Firsters who are there, of which there's not enough, right? And there is, as I noted at the top of the show, there's a battle going on there. But what I am hearing, Masako and Michael, speaking of this kind of funding you're talking about, Michael, is that there is a battle over that internally because some of the people who are running it for Marco Rubio are afraid of bad press. And so now they're even starting to talk about some of the foreign assistance they stopped, some of these bad NGO assistance that they stopped. They're thinking about starting to restart those funds going back to these groups. That's a problem. And I think that's why you're seeing the infrastructure still there, right? HIAS and all these NGO players are still around, ready and waiting for it to restart, it sounds like, right?
Absolutely. And as you know, Laura Logan was just down there with us, and she's as serious as it gets. And so, after she's on the airplane right now back to Texas, when she gets rested up, you've got to have her on and hear her side of it. But, when it comes to Marco Rubio, I've heard he has a lot of wimps around him, and he's kind of wimpy himself because he wants to have fun and keep going to USAID. Marco Rubio, you're on notice. You will get attacked, right? I mean, this is the bottom line. If you're not going to man up and go for USAID and take on the NGOs, you're just not a serious man. You're just talking yappity, yappity, yappy, nice suits, nice shoes, but you're not a serious man. You got perfect hair. I'm very suspicious of that because you're spending too much time on your hair and not enough time closing these people down.
Well, they still have all these Biden era people in place. In fact, it's like a 30-year career woman who is, running a lot of State Department, who pulled back a Biden ambassador from Africa to do the reorganization at the State Department. So that's a problem. You're not going to get any change, specifically defunding the UN, such like that, if you have those kind of issues going on. I do want to get to another issue, Masako, specifically for you. This is Taiwan. There's some news developing there. I'm not seeing much coverage of it, so I want to see if this is on your radar. After 6 years of waiting for them, Lockheed Martin finally delivered 66 F-16 Block 70s to Taiwan. Doesn't seem to be sitting really well with China. Do you think this is going to escalate the situation there and China will imminently invade, relatively soon? Your thoughts, Masako?
Well, we have been doing a lot of interviews. He focused on here. So I just saw the headline of this news just this morning.
Yeah.
So I cannot go into details. But as soon as I saw the headline and the pictures of the conflict within Taiwan, I'm sure that this is connected to what we see in Panama, because what we are dealing here, the illegal invasion to the United States, it's not just about the border issue. Of course, it's invasion. It's the global picture on the whole globe. So here in Panama, US and China is doing proxy war, and Panama is in between, and it's brewing up. So China's move is to do something on Taiwan, right? So it's not it's really connected. So we need to, I need to be able to, I need to go in deeper in order to talk specifically about this. But what I can say is that there are huge China is, even though they do not launch missile or the bullet, physical bullet, they are already invading Taiwan. For example, there is an island very close to mainland China. It's called Kinmen Island. It's Taiwan. But the closest shore is only 1.8 kilometer when the tide is low. And there in Kinmen Island, people used to be banned having like a soccer ball or basketball, because if you have two balls in your armpit, you can swim across the ocean. So
Wow.
it's that intense. And when we talk to the local people in Kinmen Island, they say that as long as CCP do not physically harm them, they are ready to turn back. And
Wow.
they're on CCP side, so they are pro CCP. So China
Without launching a missile or shooting a bullet.
they become you without firing bullets, and that's already happening.
Yeah. I wanted to bring it up because, as you said, it's all related. It's not just isolated Panama. It's not just Taiwan. It's the global push of China. And we'll have more to talk on that next week. Thank you so much for taking the time with us. You all have been so busy, and I know you've been up all night because you were out there taking Lara Logan around. And I'll tell our audience they can follow you both on X, see the amazing videos. Michael Yan, you have a great Substack. And we'll try to get Lara on soon to talk about her experience down in the Darian Gap as well. Thank you for what you continue to do, because there's just nobody else doing this. And no one would really be thinking about it as it relates to the State Department and what they are not doing if it wasn't for your all's amazing work. So thank you.
Wait until Lara Logan gets some sleep and get her on. I can't wait to see the show. Yeah, it's going to be important.
Me either.
Yes,
She's so great. Anyway, this is her and her element.
Yes,
Yep.
I want to be exactly correct. I said we interview, but Lara Logan interviewed the former chief of Senate.
Sure.
And a lot of the interview will come up. So I'm excited to see her going rogue on the road.
Me too. She's so good at that. And I caught a snippet of it on X. It'll be great. Thank you all.
Bye, Emerald.
And just to remind you, we will be off tomorrow in observance of Good Friday. And ahead of the Easter celebration on Sunday, we wish you a happy Easter. I'll also remind you, in the meantime, be sure to go to mypillow.com. Help support us. We appreciate everything you do. We're so thankful for you and our audience, and the employees at MyPillow. I know Mike tells me all the time, we're so appreciative of you and the Truth audience. Go to mypillow.com, use the promo code TRUTH, and we will see you on Monday. That's the absolute truth.